Good morning, third graders. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, and we are going to begin lesson 15 of your NTI reading work. So today we're going to talk about what poems are made of. And just like the past few weeks or past few days, we've learned about chapter stories, chapter books, and how chapters build on each other to make a good story. And then we even talked about plays and how plays have acts and how the acts build on each other to make a good story. So today we're going to be thinking about what poems are made of. The learning target is when you understand the parts of a poem, you can see how each line and stanza builds on what came before it. So let's read. Many poems tell stories, and like stories, they have a speaker, or the narrator, who talks to the reader. They also have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Poems are made up of what are called verses. A group of verses is called a stanza. So here we have stanza 1, and this is stanza 2. And you can see there's a big space between the two stanzas. That's how we know that they are different. In stanza 1, there's 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines. And in stanza 2, there's 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, and 4 lines. So the stanzas in a poem work together to tell a story. Each stanza tells an important part of the poem, and in the stanza build on each other to present ideas and to tell a story. So we're going to read the poem below, and we're going to tell who the speaker is, and then we're going to think about each idea in each stanza, and we're going to tell how the second stanza builds on the first stanza, so how they're connected. Okay, let's read A Penguin's Life. I'm a bird with little wings, but they do not make me fly. The air above is not for me, the ocean is my sky. In icy seas I swoop and soar, a swimmer fast and bold. You'd swim fast if you were me, the water sure is cold. So let's think first about who is the speaker. Well, because he says, I'm a bird, and the speaker also says, in icy seas, I swoop, I know that the speaker is the penguin. The narrator is the penguin. The penguin is telling the story. Now let's go down here and think about the idea of stanza 1. The idea, the main idea, the most important idea in stanza 1 is that penguins cannot fly. See, take a look right here. They don't make me fly. He has wings, but they don't make him fly. The most important idea of stanza 2, what could that be? Reread stanza 2 to figure out the most important idea. That's right. Penguins are fast swimmers. So what would the idea of the whole poem be? Go back and reread the whole poem. Good thinking. Penguins cannot fly, but they are fast swimmers. It's that simple. You're taking the idea from stanza 1 and the idea from stanza 2 and putting those two ideas together to make the idea of the whole poem. Now, reread the last 2 lines of the poem and talk about how these lines change how the poem makes you feel. Talk with someone in your home about how those last 2 lines of the poem make you feel. Right here. Pause the video and make sure you have the chart filled out and that you talk with someone in your home. And then you can move on to the next poem, Little Puppy. After you read the poem about the little puppy from Navajo, as you're reading, circle things in each stanza the speaker in the poem tells about and sees. So you're going to fill out this think chart, finish the chart to figure out what this Navajo poem is saying about nature. They already have given you the idea from stanza 1. The speaker and the dog will climb the rocks. They will see tall, straight cliffs where the eagles live. Now tell the idea, the most important idea in stanza 2. And then the most important idea, or the idea from the whole poem. Remember, when you do this, just as Miss Lee did up here, you will take these two ideas, one idea from each stanza, the most important, and tell the idea from the whole poem. So you're going to complete this chart by yourself, and then you're going to talk to someone in your home. What do the dark rocks make the speaker think about? You should go ahead and talk right now to someone in your home. Please make sure you are pausing the video to read the poem and complete the chart. The next portion of the activity is the writing. How are the ideas in the first stanza and the second stanza connected? How are they connected? You should start your short answer question by answering that. And then how does that help you to understand what the poem is about? You're going to write your answer on page 248. Here. Now I'm going to do the first short answer question with you. Remember, as we are writing, we need to restate, provide our answer, and cite evidence from the passage. So when I start my short answer question, or the answer, I'm going to start by talking about the first stanza. I know that the first stanza is about a person looking at the rocks. So if I go back up here to the poem, I want to look at the second stanza. So in the first stanza, talks about how they see tall cliffs and straight cliffs, climbing the rocks. In the second stanza, it adds more meaning by talking about how the rocks help them. So it's saying that the rocks hold the rain, gives them water that they make their bread and meat from. So the second stanza goes on to tell how the rocks take care of them. The second stanza goes on to tell how the rocks take care of the person and their dog. This shows how the earth gives people and animals the things we need to live. And that's answering this short answer question. And you're going to go on and read little by little. You're going to read this poem by yourself. It has 3 stanzas. As you're reading, oh yes, please make sure you paused your video to write your short answer question just like I did. As you're reading, you want to underline what this what is speaking in the first stanza, and then circle what it becomes in the last stanza. And then you're going to go on to answer number 1, looking for the key idea in the first stanza. And then number 2, how the second stanza builds or adds on to the first one. And then number 3, describe how the acorns start to change. The acorns start to change in the second stanza. Use examples in your writing for number 3. And then number 4, you're going to talk. Which words are repeated in every stanza? Make sure you go back to the poem and look. And then number 5, your short answer question. I want you to take a picture of this, what you write on page 249, and send it to me. So let's look at page 249. What does the story tell? What story does this poem tell the reader? Use details from each stanza. And a hint that you could write about is, how long does it take an acorn to grow into an oak? So don't forget to restate, answer, and cite evidence. Use details from each stanza. That's where you cite your evidence. Okay, your mystery word for today is oak tree. Oak tree. So if you send me the mystery word oak tree, I know that you have completed your work. And if you send me a picture of your short answer response, I'll give you extra points on the leaderboard. I hope you all have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you soon. Bye.